Hello. Wow, I think we are live. Oh, good, we are live. Hello.
There we go.
Brilliant. All right, it is 8 p.m. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone can see us. So if you can see us, if you can hear us, before we kick off, we would just love to hear your comments. So in the chat on the right-hand side, if you have a computer, there should be a box, text box that you can type in if you are logged into YouTube. You have to be logged in or at least register your own YouTube login. It's really easy. Just put in your email address and then they would ask a password, and that's basically all they need.
Maybe the phone. So if you have a mobile, you can just text us as well.
Yeah, so if you want to know, or if you have any questions and you actually can't, don't have any connection or struggling to see the chat live, then you can just text to 043 539 2793. The number is 043 539 2793. All right, so that's for Australian residents. If you are overseas, just put a +61 and drop the 0. All right.
It's going to be interactive, so it will be good if you can chat with us.
All right. So yeah, so maybe everyone that's on air, just send us a quick hi. We can actually see, oh, Cornelia, hey, we can see you on there. Big high five. All right, brilliant.
Okay, we're ready to start, I think.
Okay, so let's kick off. Now, before we start, we really just want to introduce ourselves. So I am Nicolene, steward, and
I'm Ronel, and we're the directors and property stylists of Let's Revamp Property Styling.
And before we launch into the webinar, we wanted to tell you a bit about our story and our journey of where we started and how we basically got here.
It's a good story, actually. We started off as renovators. We renovated properties, we styled them, and then we sold some of the properties ourselves. So in this whole process, we really enjoyed it. We've learned heaps. We made heaps of mistakes. It was just amazing, the journey. And then in the end, we actually fell in love with the styling side of it.
That's right. And that is where our Let's Revamp Property Styling company based in Sydney was born. So, loved accessories and furniture, and we absolutely love styling clients' homes, and we normally style properties for sale, and we also decorate them, and that's just the part that we absolutely, fell in love with. So, yeah, and that's really where we decided to do home improvement training, because based on our renovation experience, as well as styling experience, we learned so much. We made a lot of mistakes, and we just have a passion to actually help clients that, are going through the same journey, that needs to prepare their properties for sale and have no idea where to start or what to do. We've over-capitalized, we've done many things, but we've also learned a lot of tricks on how to really just do what you need to do to, sell your property. So
let's get ready. Let's jump into it.
All right, so we are going to share the presentation with you. Just a heads up, it might look like you're going through a tunnel for a couple of seconds, but don't freak out. It will actually stabilize, and within a couple of seconds, you will see the slideshow. So bear with us.
Hold on.
Technology.
There we go.
Always exciting. All right, so we share a screen. All right. So yeah, so hopefully you will see something, and basically what we are going to talk about is how to increase your property sales price and reduce the time spent on the market. All right, let's first get all the admin out of the way so that we can get to the cool stuff. Just kind of a, general info. All the tips and info is really based on our own experience, and it's really of a general nature. So we've seen work with a lot of properties, but it's always good to get some advice, professional advice specific to your property, real estate agent or people in your area as well. This webinar, we really would love it to be interactive. So, there's the comment box on the right-hand side. Make sure that you put questions or things in there. We are going to answer questions at the end. We won't really answer questions throughout the webinar, but there will be a 10-minute section that we will go through all the questions. And then also the webinar will be recorded. So afterwards, we will share the link to the recording to everyone that registered for the webinar. So if you're struggling to get on the air, don't worry, we will share the webinar with you. And then last but not least, we will share free stuff with you at the end. So there'll be some great freebies. So if you stay with us, we promise that there will be some fabulous things for you to check out. All right. Here we go. Ooh, so first question. Oh, sorry. First question. So now you may think, oh my goodness, did I just stumble on this, or is this webinar really for me? Now, if you're thinking of selling your property and you wonder what buyers are looking for, or you really know that you need to declutter, but you have no idea where to start, or you want to know how to increase the sales value of your property and reduce the time that it spends on the market. If your answer is yes to any of these questions, then this webinar is definitely for you. So now that you know you're in the right place, just relax and have some fun with us. All right, for your first interactive question, we would like to know, where do you currently live? Just want to see, who's out there, and yeah. All right, so we're looking at the first question. And so we've got Sam. Sam actually is from Melbourne. Nice. Good job, Sam. Oh, next to the beach. Fantastic. Nice to have you with us, Sam. All right, this one comes from Mary. Mary is in Newcastle and she loves living there. Nice. Thanks, Mary. Ooh, all right, Cornelia. Cornelia is from Port Macquarie. Hey, Cornelia. Shout out to Port Macquarie. Brilliant.
A little bit all over though.
I know, all over the place. Fantastic. Okay. Next interactive question we really just want to get a sense of where you are in your property selling journey. So you don't really own a property at the moment, but you are thinking of buying and selling a property in the future. If that's you, just pop an A in the answer in the chat sheet. Or are you thinking of selling a property in the next 12 months? Or you're thinking of selling a property in the next 2 to 5 years? Or if you are none of the above, it's okay. That's fine. You just really want to know a little bit more about selling your property. So whichever one you are, just pop that A, B, or C, or D category in there and let us get a sense of, what your journey is at the moment. All right, so we have Cornelia is D, so none of the above. Cornelia, you are very welcome to join us. We'd love to have you here and just share some tips and insights with you. And then we have Rose. So Rose is category B. Oh, great, Rose. Thinking of selling your property in the next 12 months. Perfect. All right, so now moving on to our webinar topics. So what are we going to talk about? Firstly, what are buyers looking for? Secondly, going to look at declutter and property presentation for sale, as well as how to increase your sales price and reduce the time spent on the market. Now, before you can actually understand what your buyer is looking for, you really got to understand who is your buyer. And the first thing we want to chat to you about is the 4 types of buyers. That's really for this discussion. We're going to cover 4. There might be a lot of other ones, but we're really going to focus on a buyer that is buying for personal reasons, so either for themselves, a family member. So it's a very personal, it's like a personal home buyer. Second, as an investor. Investors would either be someone that would buy a property and rent it out for return on their investment, or they would keep the investment property to basically sell it in the future for capital gain. The other category would be a renovator. So they can be homeowners or investors, but their basic mindset is really to go in and renovate the property and improve it themselves, or they get people to do it, but they want to add value to the property themselves. And the last category would be developers or builders. Now that category is really, we're not going to really delve very deep into the last category, because in essence they would look for a block of land that they can actually just expand or develop, or just add a lot more properties to. And so we're just going to focus on the first three categories for this webinar. All right, now the fun bit. The power of an emotional connection. Now, I don't know about you, but I've seen so many YouTube videos or Facebook posts that, if it's a cute or funny or, shocking type of video or post, that really gets shared a lot. And so, even blogs and the way that people market is very focused on your feelings, your emotional feelings, because the way that your emotions work actually creates a reaction. And so the same is true for buyers. And the first, to kind of prove this point, if you look at this picture, what emotions do you feel when you see this picture? What about you, Ronel? What do you feel?
Oh, like I need a holiday. Peace and calm.
Very calm and quiet. All right. Cecily says she actually feels tranquility. Yeah, just a lot of goodness. All right, let's move to the next one. What about this picture? All right, so this is a really cute one. First time I saw this picture, I was like, oh, soft and cuddly and fuzzy. What about, oh, here we go. Tom has actually just texted in and he says, very cute baby, fantastic. Want to cuddle them, brilliant. Okay, all right, let's move to the next one. All right, and finally, I don't know about you, but my first reaction was a bit scared, want to run away. You love spiders, don't you, Ronel?
I do not. I'll be the first one running, but my daughter does.
Oh, your daughter.
She'll just pick them up, cuddle them, just love on them.
All right, Corey says, no! I know. We agree with you. That is not the best. But, what's my point? What do we really want to show is that when you look at a picture, you will actually react in a certain way. And personal home buyers are emotional buyers. And they would also use their senses to make a decision about your property. Now, if you think about the sense of sight, if a buyer actually walks into this property, this is actually a real example of a property that we did. A buyer would walk in and it's a functional space, you can see it's a living room, it's fairly neat and tidy. But then they actually walk next door and that same property and same living room is on display next door and it looks like this. Which one do you reckon they would actually prefer? Now that's the power of sight. People basically put value to what they see. All right, what if a buyer walks in and is hit with this incredible stench, little rotten fish, etc.? I don't think that would actually leave a very warm and fuzzy feeling versus walking through and it's nice, it's got some citrusy smells, some mint, clean smells. It's a very different way that a buyer would actually emotionally connect with that property. And then your sense of hearing. If, a buyer walks through the place and it's creaking and, doors are squeaking and, there's all these weird sounds when they walk through the property, that is not a very welcoming sound, all right? So they would emotionally, maybe have some negative connotation. What about sense of touch? All right, as a buyer, if you walk through the property and you touch the bench tops and you stick to the floor and your hand sticks everywhere because it's dirty, again, not the best feeling, is it? No. All right, personal homeowners also would react based on their needs. Like age. Are you, would the buyer actually be retiring and want to just downsize and go travel the world versus an expanding family? You would have buyers that come through your property from different, cultures and backgrounds and religions. Some cultures would actually really like vibrant colors, where some others would prefer more tranquil, neutral, just calming tones. So it can be quite a diverse look that they're looking for. And then also, how big is the buyer's family size? Do they have loads of children and family members that would move in, or are they quite a small family? And depending on that, in this example, we actually had a property that we styled. It was there was a lot of bedrooms, but we recommended, because of the demographic of buyer, that we actually try and style the property so that it's a dual functional property. So we have, 2 separate areas where there's living rooms, so that a buyer can actually bring 2 families into the same home. So you can basically show them how you can meet their needs with preparing and styling the property. And then also, what's very interesting is, if a buyer is more a white collar versus blue collar. Now, what do we mean by that? White collar general buyers would be people that basically have office jobs that, a lot of times work in the city at a desk base, where blue collar would be, people that actually do hands-on work. They might be builders, developers, they've got trades, they're very great with building things. And we actually had that experience where we invested in an area where there was a lot of blue-collar trade people that really knew how to do renovations. We renovated the property, and we found that they didn't value the investment we made as much, because they could do a lot of it themselves, versus, a white-collar buyer that probably would pay for a renovation because they either don't have the time or necessarily the skills. So that definitely would have a big impact on what they would be willing to pay for your property. Now, even if you are not sure about what buyers group would be coming through your house, there is a general rule that we found works. If your property is clean, is clutter-free, is well-maintained, it's presented so that it's quite, as spacious as possible, and also neutral colors work fantastic no matter what buyer group comes in. There are just a couple of exceptions though. If your house is, basically a demolished project, or a developer or buyer wants to buy your property for the land value and actually wants to just gut your property or knock it down and rebuild it, then it wouldn't matter what you do and how you present it. They basically would pay for the land. Your real estate agent would really be able to help you to identify as well what type of buyers group is coming through your property. And if you don't have a real estate agent, I would even recommend talking to other agents in the area. Interview as many as you possibly can and get an ideal sense of what buyers would come through your property. And even other things that you can try and do is, take a drive around your neighborhood. If it's an investment property you're selling, try and determine what buyers are hanging out in the local parks, in the shops. You can also go to Tourist Information Centre. Your local council would have a general idea of the buyers groups that are there. And also a really good tip is, if you visit open homes of the same style and the same size of property that you have, you would then see how many or what type of buyers comes through. Then there are really 3 things that we think can make all the difference. All right, so if you follow these three things, you are on the money. You prepare your home the best. So to declutter and depersonalize. Now, Ronel is going to talk us through this example of a property that she consulted, the lady for styling tips. So talk us through this one, Ronel.
I think if you have a look at the kitchen from where we're standing, it's actually a good sized kitchen. So from an investor point of view, it looks structurally sound. The doors are all unique. The handles look good. Tapware is great. So for an investor, it's a great buy. They can just get some people in to rent it, no hassle. From a renovator's point of view, maybe they can just paint it or put some new doors on. So great, the carpet is great, everything's doing good next, so a good cosmetic flip. From a homeowner's point of view, this is where it gets a bit tricky. It's very hard for some people to actually visualize the size of a kitchen where there's so many things on the bench top. So this person had a hobby of making porcelain dolls, and she didn't have a space to actually work. So the kitchen ended up being her workspace. So she had to just remove all the porcelain dolls, declutter her whole kitchen. So by declutter, I basically just mean she just basically took a box, put everything in there. The stuff she used on a regular basis, she just put that under the zinc so it's quick and easy to access. The rest she already packed up because they're moving. So the difference was just amazing. So in the after photo, just a matter of just moving stuff around. She kept the plants, just rearranging a few things and having a little cluster of things way at the back in the nook. You can see the thermo and the cutting board. You can see that it draws the eye in. So just very quick, easy, cost-effective way just to make your kitchen feel bigger.
Brilliant. All right. So, and the next thing that you can do that would make a lot of difference is to use a neutral color scheme, like gray, beige, or off-white. So we're going to show you an example. So this was a real example of a client I actually went to, and it was the color scheme that was throughout the house was very vibrant and very, very bright. I did recommend that they try and neutralize it a bit, because if a buyer has certain furniture pieces that would clash with the colors in their heads, they would think they would have to paint the walls and change the carpets, and probably wouldn't want to pay that much for the house if they actually need to invest money to neutralize it themselves. So the biggest tip is to try and tone it down. They actually then changed the carpets and they, painted the walls, and it looked amazing. It actually looked more spacious. And what it did was it helped buyers look at the whole room rather than just focusing on these very bright colors that were all over the place. All right, then another thing that can make all the difference is really placement of furniture to improve the flow, to increase visibility of the floor space, and also to show functionality. So we'll show you a couple of examples. Here's one, what you can do with your furniture to actually make the space feel more open. So Ronel, maybe talk us through this one.
So the people were still living in the property, and it was functioning for their family, the way they want to function. So everyone had a seat, it all focused the TV. The problem you have is when you put it on the market, it totally disrupts the flow from going from your living room to the outside. So basically the only thing they had to do was remove a double-seater sofa and just rearrange the sofas around. And that way it actually opened up the flow, made it look so much bigger. And anyone who walked in there, whether they were a buyer or a renovator or an investor, could see, wow, this space is massive, it's huge, it flows, and it's light. And again, just by using what they had and just rearranging a few pieces makes such a big difference, inviting outside in.
That's right. It really opened it up, didn't it? And even placing the rug on the floor, even though it was open, it was nice and warm just with the rug in there as well. All right, the next picture is actually giving function to a space. Now, this client this is actually the first room on the left when you enter the property, and they basically use it for a little bit of a storage space, but also just had like a sofa in there. Now, it didn't really have a lot of function. They had a table and a chair upstairs, and we recommended bringing it down so that they can style it in a way that it's more a study. So again, bringing function to the space. Instead of an unused kind of section, now this is an added, usable study.
Sometimes buyers come to and say, well, I have no idea what we're going to use this space for because it doesn't look usable, where this is just easy. It's like, oh, okay, this is a study or this is the bedroom. spoon feed them as much as you can.
That's right. That's right. And as you've seen previously when we showed the photos, what you see visually, you will react to. So for them actually seeing this as a functional space, that will tell them, yep, you know, we'll put more value on this property because we can use all the rooms. All right, now topic 2, we're going to talk about declutter and depersonalize. First of all, a lot of people ask, what is declutter? The word is actually being thrown around quite a lot. But in essence, it's to get rid of things that cost you more in either time or money. So time to kind of move them around because you stumble over them, or you've got to clean them all the time. And money, if you've got to rent a storage space to, you know, basically put your stuff in there. So if it costs you more than the benefit of keeping them, then that's really clutter. And you should potentially start to think about getting rid of it. Why do it? Why declutter? You know, a lot of clients probably wonder that themselves, but it's about uncovering the floor space. So when a buyer walks into your property, the more the floor is covered, the smaller a room looks. So the more you can open it up and pick up all the stuff that's on there, that's really key. And buyers can't really visualize themselves living in the property if all of your stuff is all over the place. There is definitely a significant benefit financially if a buyer can walk into a room and actually see how spacious it is. If they don't feel it's spacious, you know, they might not want to pay the price necessarily for that home. So really the first thing we want to encourage you is take action. You know, stop thinking about it and really just start to declutter if you know you're going to sell your property. But start small. It can be really overwhelming if you start with the biggest room in your house. So just take it little bite sizes. Start with your laundry, for example. You know, maybe tick that one off the list. And once you do that, maybe move on to another small room, like one of the kids' rooms. And as you progress, it will build momentum. And before you know it, you've actually decluttered your whole property. Don't overstock your garage and cupboards. Now, it is best to actually move stuff out of your house, and your garage is a really good space, your cupboards as well. However, buyers would actually look in your cupboards as well as your garage. So you don't want buyers to open up cupboards and out comes all the toys and the Tupperware falling on top of them, because that would really just show them that there's not enough space or storage space in the house. A garage as well. You know, a lot of buyers would want to see how long and how wide the garage is. If you actually have stacked it all the way to the ceiling and they can't see what's in there, that might not be, you know, such a great way to present your property. So a couple of solutions that, you know, we've used as well and that we can recommend is to utilize storage space under your bed. So IKEA has these fantastic, they call it cub storage case, I don't know, things that you can just put your clothes, your kids' toys. They are not very high, so they're fantastic. You just slide them under the bed, and you know, buyers don't really look. They don't look under beds. They don't have time to look under a bed. So that's a great spot to actually put your clutter. Other solutions would be to use plastic storage boxes. We really like using the ones that you can see through so that you can remember what is actually in them. You can label them, remember to label them. And then also the cool thing about those boxes is you can literally stack them on top of each other and again, just open up more floor space in your garage or in your other areas.
Especially for walk-in robes.
Yeah, that's true.
They can be very handy.
Yeah, you can just slot them up at the top, yeah, and open up the space. And then we recommend, so as we said earlier, maybe think about removing some stuff out of, you know, the garage if it's way too full or you don't have any more cupboards in your house. Some great offsite solutions. We've actually done this ourselves. We had an investment property, tenants were living in it, and there was just boxes everywhere. And so we rented or hired a truck for the day and asked the tenant if we can move their stuff in there so that we can actually take photos of the property. And remember, photos are the first thing buyers would see before they actually come to your open home. So presentation is key. You can also rent lock-up storage units. Some of them are not too expensive, and rent a space or Storage King, they're everywhere. And then also, if you've got a really good relationship with your neighbor, you can always ask them if you can maybe use some of their garage space. Also, you can start to sell and give away your items. eBay is a fantastic place. Gumtree the same, just to get rid of your things. Buy, swap, and sell Facebook pages are very handy. We use them all the time. Even doing a garage sale, or start donating some of your nicer clothes and toys to secondhand shops or Salvation Army.
Or maybe just schedule a good council cleanup way in advance before you sell.
That's right.
They will be there on time.
Council cleanups are good too. And then, the other thing is getting some extra internal shelving. So just removing the items from the floor. So I really like this concept in the laundry where, you can do it nice and neat, basically everything against one wall, and nothing is actually standing on the floor so that buyers would fall over it. All right, now that we spoke about decluttering, this was actually one of our clients as well. And, we went in and recommended them ways to actually declutter. So we would love to hear from you guys in your live chat. Just maybe send us your comments or feedback. What would you do here in this example? Are there any?
So I think, just to clarify, they were on a very tight budget, so they couldn't replace the flooring, tiles, or the zinc or anything like that. So it was basically just a big focus on decluttering and cleaning up.
That's right. Yeah. So if you have no budget and you've got to do something just to make it look better, what would you do? Okay, so we've got some feedback. Remove all the bottles. Yeah, that's true. That actually would make a big difference.
Take the calendar off the wall. That's a good one too.
Yep, that's a very good one. We've got one from Samantha that texted in, and she said, take off the dark towels. Yep, good one, Samantha. That's very good. Oh, yeah, Cornelia said it as well. Throw out the brown towels. All right, so we'll show you the after photo. Now, it'll really make such a big difference to just remove everything, putting some white, fluffy, brand new towels in to give it a little bit of a luxurious look, and just a couple of accessories that's neutral, and that's all you need. And it did make a big difference just doing that. Now talking about depersonalizing. Now, what is depersonalizing? It's really helping buyers. In a way, you should ensure that they can't identify who you are. They shouldn't be able to identify what your family looks like, or what your hobbies or interests are, or, what's your background, religious views, or what culture you're from. It should really be a neutral house. Couple of solutions to start depersonalizing is really to prepare yourself emotionally. A lot of our homeowners that we actually work with, they have lived in their properties for a long time, and there's a lot of, family photos and memorabilia everywhere, and it's quite an emotional journey. So just make sure that you set yourself up. The second one is give yourself enough time to actually work through all the items, start packing things away. It can take a while if you've lived in your property for a long time. Remove your personal photos, as we mentioned, personal memorabilia, any framed accolades. Previously we showed a slide about different cultures and religions. You basically want to ensure that when a buyer walks into your property, there's nothing that offends them, or that it's quite depersonalize so they can connect and see their own personality in your home. Now, thinking about depersonalizing, what will you do in this space? So this was actually one of our clients. They also didn't have a big budget. We gave them, Ronel, you can maybe talk about this one because you actually gave them advice on what to do and how to do it.
Well, we normally try and use what we can from what the owner already had. So the white bedding was amazing and the artwork was great. So it was basically a very big job just to declutter, put everything away and put some of the side tables away as well. So that big one in the corner, they actually sold that one. They kept the bedside tables and then just the dressing table. And it made such a big difference. I think they bought a few cushions and her daughter had a throw. And that way it just blended very nicely together without spending massive amounts of money.
That's right. The after looks like it's been styled, but she did all of this herself just by removing things and, yeah, like you said, a few cushions and a throw, and it looks amazing.
But you can see the room where in the previous photo, you just see stuff.
That's right. All right, so that's a really great example of how to depersonalize. All right, now the third topic we want to talk to you about is how to increase your sales price and reduce the time it was spent on the market. All right, now always remember the power of the 3 Ps. All right, first of all is presentation. You know, we talked about decluttering, depersonalizing, all of those things. It's very important to ensure that you present your property so that the majority of buyers that comes through can connect with your property and see themselves living there. So remember all those senses and all those things to present it well. And then the price. You know, if you set unrealistic price expectation for your property, doesn't matter what you do to it, it probably won't sell. So really talk to your agent, go and look at similar properties, what they've sold for recently, and make sure that you really know what's the best price to ask for your property. And then the third P is promotion. Promotion, make sure that if you do sell your property yourself, that you have a lot of ads, that you put it on realestate.com and domain, and also that your agent will promote your property so that you get as many buyers there as possible. All right, so 3 Ps, remember that. And that's basically it. That's our webinar. So, you know, we really want to thank you. We thank you for your time. We thank you that you joined us for this webinar. And we really hope that you've learned something today. And before we get to the questions, we just quickly want to tell you that we are going to share some free stuff with you as we promised at the beginning. And we're going to send some free downloads. So everyone that's actually registered for this webinar, we will give free downloads, basically showing you what buyers are looking for and breaking it down, you know, per 3 rooms, bedroom, kitchen, as well as, what was the other one? Oh, bathroom and the bathroom. And then also in general, what would they look for? And then the other thing we wanted to share with you that we're very excited about is we launched homeimprovementtraining.com, and we'll just quickly show you what it looks like. And in essence, it's training courses. So maybe you can talk us through that for now.
So yeah, I think we're just kicking off with this, but the main idea is that any homeowner can jump on the website, go and search for what they're looking for. So at the moment, there's training courses in regards to your curb appeal, your entry, and your kitchen. Absolutely in-depth, step-by-step ways that you can just change the overall look and appeal of your property. If you don't have an entryway, how you can create an entryway. So yeah, very cool stuff on there. So go and have a look. It's an ongoing process. So yeah, keep up to date, pop in every now and again, and we'll be looking forward to see you there.
That's right. So unfortunately, we've lost our slideshow, but again, that email or that website is homeimprovementtraining.com. And yeah, so excited. We'll share it with you as well afterwards in a link. Yeah, that's it, and the freebies as well. So now we're going to open up the floor to any questions. So if anyone has some questions, if you have, anything that we can help you with, just yell out. So, we've got a text coming in. So this is Rebecca. Rebecca asked, do I have to spend a lot of money to style my property? No, Rebecca, you don't. You really don't. As we showed you, some of the slideshows, it's really, minimal budget can actually make a massive difference. So, just painting something in neutral, bringing in some soft cushions, throws, a couple of accessories. It's, and just removing a lot of clutter and personal items can make a massive difference.
Well, go and borrow. You know, if you have a family member or a cousin or a niece that has great taste, go and borrow some cushions or chairs, or it's just 6 weeks, so I'm sure you can wiggle something. So yeah, you don't have to break the budget to make a big improvement.
That's right. And the great thing about home improvement training, our online courses, is we will take you through step by step how to prepare each of your rooms, like a kitchen or a bathroom, what to put in it, what to take out of it, the reasons why you have to present that certain space in a certain way. So that's a very affordable way to train yourself actually how to do it.
And it's fun. You go digging in your cupboards, so it's good.
That's it. All right. Do we have another one? What about Robert? So Robert says, can I use vibrant, certain colors, vibrant colors, and how do I know what color to pick? Again, I would be very careful just for very vibrant colors, even feature walls. Keeping your property very neutral in neutral colors means that a buyer can put anything in there. They any type of furniture, your beige, off-white, anything actually works very well with any style. So steer clear of very bright colors. Cool. All right.
Amanda says, great presentation. Glad you loved it. Cornelia says, amazing, well done. So glad you guys enjoyed it. So we really hope you've learned something, and thanks for your time tonight. We really appreciate it. So send us an email if you need any help after this.
Yeah, that's right. info@homeimprovementtraining.com. Any questions you have, if we haven't answered anything, then,
let us know. Or if you have suggestions, what you want to hear in the next webinar.
That's right.
We'll just combine the topics.
All right. Okay. Brilliant. We're out of here. Have a nice night. Thanks for watching.
Okay, bye.
Bye.